some things from Tyler about both games. That's why we're obviously doing this. I know he's played yesterday, so tonight's session's not going to be very hard. That's why we're doing this. As you know, as a coach, I do have to nitpick to obviously so we can improve. And that's basically what it says. There's positives and just things that we need to work on. So before I go through the list that we come up with, I also want to go and see what you guys positives and needs to work on from each and every one of you, see what you think. So obviously do 2 play first. So we'll start with positive and next back. How did you find it?
Yeah, just the biggest thing, more so Nathan and Jez just holding the ball too much in the back and just trying to play around with it in the back. Just need to get rid of it more often. Just try and get it to mids or even just send it a long ball.
Matty, you're in the middle of good too, right?
Oh, you could say that.
You're on the field too.
No, I didn't notice until I saw him run off. I'm like, oh, Matty's there.
This guy's doing more work up there. Yeah, I thought there were heaps of positives. I thought, I thought we were using the fast boys up the front pretty well. And I guess my concern is that we get too reliant on that. I'd probably like to see us maybe knock it around a little bit more. But I watched the first half on the video, and personally, I think maybe I could probably come back and look to give a bit more options to the fullbacks, which probably ties into what you're saying, Lee.
Do you reckon the long balls will come in because the field was so short?
Yeah, especially with the keeper out of their hands.
Yep.
He could kick it to halfway and it just bounced over us.
I think maybe we were a bit flat at the back, maybe, I felt.
The Nate was pretty good at like switching the balls between wide and in. The back was a bit flat, and maybe because it was pushed back a bit on defense.
One of the things I picked up on is you did drop your head when you got that own goal.
That's because it was a fun.
It was cracking. It was a good goal.
Who scored it, by the way?
Nathan actually got it.
Nathan. Okay. I couldn't see. I watched about 3 times. Like, who scored
I
it?
think the footage looked pretty good. So.
Well, Joey just watched it go in.
Come off his knee.
It was a knee.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
I went in well.
I thought it was
Yeah, no, he sort of lunged out at it and hit his knee.
So your big positive is that not jogging. Because I think if he's dropping your head, probably would have been a bit different the game. But he's basically, it sort of woke us up from there, from what I can see. He's clicked into gear and then basically went to work and took him to the sword. Lockie was up front, what do you see?
No, I thought we played a good game. Didn't see too much.
Good attitude, good attitude.
Good idea, mate. I'll go to the coach then today.
Well, Carl was there too. What do you think, mate?
Well, I think one thing I'll say with the back line, and I think one thing with the back line, like when the ball's like bouncing, like when the goalie kicks it over halfway and it's bouncing over the back, you gotta just sprint for the ball, and then once you get the ball, then turn around and then look at and play out. And with wing, like especially on that sort of field, you gotta play like be pretty much on the outside of the line and then be standing, so you're facing that way, so you can get the ball from middle or back. But yeah, I think that's good.
The Eagles hang on what's the first game? Good one, boys. Troy was good results. It was funny. Saw some good goals. There's one moving goal back. 2 of it.
Goals that were gone like 2 goals away.
Yeah, I have some.
Yeah.
For me, like some of the boys they are really good, but like some of the boys they don't know how to kick the ball. That's what I see. Like the small fellas, they are really in a nice position, but they can't cross the balls. So that's what we need to work on that. But I really like the boys, that fast boys. They started to know how to play with me, so I can give them back the ball.
I think we obviously work on through the years as well. So.
Yeah.
sort of picking up what Carl said, what I noticed in the second div game was our backs were very reactive, not proactive. When the ball went over their head, they let the chinchilla player get 3 steps in front
And
before
then-
they
and
thought,
then they
fuck, I've got to put your foot down.
Yep.
Nathan gave away 4 penalties, purely because he let old mate take 3 steps. He was as slow as a fucking wet week, and then Nathan had to come along up behind him. And all they do is just go, oops, stop on the ball, he comes clambering through, bang, penalty. Playing out, I'm gonna, with Div 2, I'm gonna take Joey's shit, shank, like long
Yeah,
kicks
we
out of
know
it.
that's coming, so.
Yeah, so Div 2 boys, especially if you're in the back line, be prepared, we're gonna start playing the ball out from the back. So that means as soon as, while Joey's picking the ball up, make a decision, drop deep and wide, so Joey can offload out, and we get rid of those high balls, because we set up ready for the ball, and it either comes off the left or the right of Joey's boot, so we all move to one side, and it always goes off the other side. So, but the other thing is, when we're playing out from the back, a lot of the times we're 2 straight passes straight up the line. And then there was, I don't know who it was, someone run themselves into the corner. There was absolutely no one marking them, and they just fucking run straight into the corner for no other reason that it was a straight run. And I just said to them after they offloaded the ball, I said, why the fuck did you run yourself into the corner? You could have gone to the edge of the 18-yard box. But we just have it in our head, straight runs. Yeah. You know, chinchilla, they were shit, and there was no offsides on the weekend, so that we couldn't really do anything there. But when we come up against some of these other good teams, like I stalked their video pages and all the rest of it, a lot of them are going to play offside traps. So we've got to start getting better at putting balls through diagonal, because a lot of those balls to Harvey and all that, on the weekend worked because they could get it, because the field was that high and the ball didn't roll on. But on a field like we play on out here, when it's properly mowed, that thing's going to run a mile and they ain't catching it. So we've got to start learning diagonal balls, break the defence, and just finally, it's just final third. You know, it's between the ears. We can go out here and practice as much as we like, sitting in front of goals. But when you get to the goal, pick a spot. If you're not confident that you're going to keep it down under the crossbar, go for placement, inside of your foot, bang. I've seen some weird and wonderful kicks. There was off the side of the friggin' boot, there was someone stood on it. But, you know, just until you get your confidence, a shot on target, there's a chance that the goalkeeper's going to fumble it and it's going to go in. You know, but we all just went for the highlight reel things. We got to the edge of the 18-yard box, we sucked the keeper out one side, 3/4 of goals open, and we're hitting the thing like we wanted to put in someone's backyard. Just move it back to 70%, get your placement right. When you can bang 5 of those in, then go for the thing, because I think once we start playing the better teams, those wasted opportunities is going to be the difference between us making finals and not making finals. So it's all about, you know, if we can get more shots on target, we're going to give ourselves better opportunities.
They brought it up a few weeks back when he filled in with the one fellas. Obviously playing out of the back thing, I think very much like how we do one boys do it.
Yeah.
And how we sort of float and slide side to side with each other. I think if boys want to obviously improve on that,
Yeah.
hanging around and watching the Div 1 boys game will help.
Yeah.
Because you get to see the sort of movement that is required to make it work.
Yeah.
I know when he was very happy with the way when he sort of slotted in there, Kyle's talking to him, we sort of coaching him through
Yeah.
little things here and there, picking up things if you do something go too far, or put him back in one down, be telling the solid really like that.
Yeah.
So if we can take, obviously we all train together, so I will teach as much as we can.
Yeah.
But we're not like Troy said, when it comes to playing on the field, it's your own instincts and stuff that are kicking in as well.
Yeah.
So if you want to slow it down, that'll the best thing to do is, especially the backs, they want to learn that,
Yeah.
which is kind of watch how these boys do it. Because you'll see them do it when there's no pressure, and you'll see them do it when they're under pressure.
Well, the biggest thing is we've just got to re-educate Joey, because as soon as the ball comes in the box,
Yeah.
red mist comes over,
We're trying,
and he's like a fucking wiggle. He's got his skivvy on, he's like, hot potato, fuck, I'm sending it. Like, I don't want it in my hands for any more than 5 seconds. So, it's just a matter of, when we have these knock-around end training matches out there, I'm just going to stand behind the goal. Joey, pick the ball up. Head up, as you're walking back in, eyes up. Now, it's up to his backs to sort of prompt him. If you're dropping deep and wide, he can go righto. He's ready to go. So it's a bit of a processing that we're going to go through, but I can just see that's probably the biggest part of the game that we can improve is our transition from back to front. And the other thing we need to work on is just options from throw-ins. We're still pretty poor on that, and look, and that goes for big one too. You know, everyone just thinks that one option is okay. If there's only one option, defenders can read one option.
Or we end up throwing a silly ball away because we're trying to make something that isn't there. Like it's something we should be able to do now.
We should be throwing to feet, not knees as well. Most of the times.
Sometimes we lesson teams and they've got like 6 foot people, and like our shorter people, like our mids or wingers or strikers, and they're not the tallest, and maybe they're like higher jumps, but we might be lesson team like men that are higher and more physical men.
We're all taught at a young age. If it's not on, throw it down the line. But to make that work is someone comes short and then turns and goes. Neither team did that on the weekend.
Because when we put a run on down the line, it's so, you're watching, you're walking towards the goal, between, like the throwing, and then there's just no turn and no urgency to get back down the line. Or, he's got his back turned and you're already running down the line, you know, so it's just about timing. You know, give the person the nod, yep, I'm on, turn around. And when we're doing that, can't be into the back of the head. It's got to be over. The ball's got to be landed 1.5 metres in front of them, 2 steps. So they bang bang straight on it.
I'll go a bit on side. Start with the best bang guys.
I spoke about it half time. I just think our structure was probably a little out. I think we were trying to play a bit too defensive and it left Waddy isolated up front. I think the intensity and the scrap to get the result was good amongst the boys. No one really sat off and dropped out. We all worked hard. I think our fitness is it's definitely above where the other teams are from what I've seen so far. The amount of rotations that they were doing compared to what we were, and we were still running and moving. We went back to panic ball, I believe, in that second half. Once they did start putting pressure on us, we started trying to pump that ball long, which then instantly turned the ball back on us. I think when we did control the ball and play those triangles, we actually found it a lot easier, but we went away from that for some reason. But, as I said, the intensity to cover that 2-0 lead was there. So that's what I'll say.
Both?
I think it was one of our quieter games. There wasn't much talk.
First half was there.
It wasn't much talk, me included. And I did find sometimes that no one will contest to it. That's just how I felt. Oh yeah, bounce. Okay, go in, have a go.
There's no urgency.
Yeah, but other than that, I don't really have much more to say.
I noticed throughout the snippets of the video that I watched, I could hear Jacob over everyone else.
Yeah, that's
No matter what. He didn't shut up. Which is what I've told him to do, obviously. But he's not the only one that can do it. I've noticed our captain doesn't say a lot, so
yeah.
that boy's
Yeah,
on.
we just pissed Nate. Seriously.
heard it here first.
So it's, a lot of other boys do speak up.
Yeah.
Because like I've told you throughout, obviously before these last couple of games, the chat makes a huge difference.
Big shout out to Das for something in the foul spot. You did it right. It's not as much. You didn't talk as much, but dude, you did what you needed to do, and yeah, it's good.
It was good that there was a couple of positions that were obviously missing this weekend.
Kyle, who?
Mason, you're up front. What do you have?
I sort of felt that it was a pretty different game from Chinchilla. Versus in Chinchilla, we moved the ball a lot more using the width and like sliding as a team, moving up and back. I just felt like people were out of position a bit and crammed other players in their positions.
So in that instance, do we feel like the smaller field is cramping us up?
Yeah.
To a degree, we can't move the teams side to side like we did against Chinchilla.
Yeah.
So
we're
we've got to
trying
create
to play
that
a
extra
bit more
space.
like tiki-taka.
Yeah,
What is what we feel?
The triangles that we had up and down the sides worked. Because a lot of the players, a lot of the teams that we've been versing play a lot down the guts. So if we use the width and we play up and back, I felt a lot on the weekends we were trying to go up too much. We had
Instead of
jumping back and resetting, but overall it's pretty good.
It was a game of two sides. So on one side, triangles, little passes.
Yeah, that's
On
right.
Jerry's side,
Long ball.
20-metre passes, straight balls. You know, and there was a reason why Jerry was pretty rooted on that one side, 20 metres. Every ball was 10 metres in front of him,
And
and
he
he was
had
having to go on it. Where on the other side, it was 5-metre triangle
10
passes.
else, yeah.
So you can sort of see that fight, you know, that works well. It saves your energy. You get the same transfer out of defence to attack, but on the other side, you got one fella, 20-metre runs,
And he's getting the shits.
getting chopped. When he did finally get to the ball, there was a chop coming.
Yeah, there was.
Well, I did like those when the ball hit Jerry or someone. Mace was always there to back him up, and they did do some driving. When the ball hit Nelson, 10 times out of 10 he tried to take the player on. And I think 9 times out of 10 he lost the ball. And then he had Nathan backing him up, so scraps Nathan came in and then proceeded to do the same thing. Try to take on the player, lose the ball.
We feel like keep your heads up and like keep the ball rolling instead of trying to take
If
it.
you look up and you see 3 defenders, come back.
It comes
they
back
just
to that
did it.
not playing
And
back
then-
through trouble.
Like you said though, we were playing very defensive, and if you do come back, that's when we need to slide. That's when we pump the ball this way, and not stand looking where you're going, oh, let's play right back to where we just came from.
Because, yeah, we're there screaming for him, which is, we're
Which
trying to go after him. Yeah,
Where the chinchilla thing came
Not
from,
making a decision early.
we got into trouble, we played Jake. Jake would then play White, we came White. And then if something was wrong, we played back, and we went again. And we made them run with us, and like fellas see our fitness was up there. So we had a manage every time. But we just cranked each other in, we just wanted to, I don't know, we just want to play 150% the whole time, we just wanted to run every.
And probably the other thing too, Jake could kick the ball more out of his hands in that game on the weekend than what we did here. And he played out from the back here, because I had to pull Jacob up a couple of times and I said to him, you had a man unmarked 5 metres away and 30 metres of space in front of him. He could have chewed it up and got to the halfway line without any contest, you know, whatsoever. The other thing is, in the Div 1 game and the Div 2 game, probably not so much Div 2 because Joey's as erratic as fuck. In Div 1, Jacob is a fairly constant kick. He kicks to a distance and that's it. And these guys just weren't reading the distance. Like, what he had 4 people on him, right on the distance. You know, that midfield should have been there, and what he should have been is that one pass on, or that one play on sort of thing. And that's what isolated you a lot out of those kick-ins. It was coming to one player that had 4 men on him.
I think there was 2 or 3 there that like were dropping on me.
Yeah.
It was like rather than flicking it on to Waddy to run on, I kind of brought it down, which then put us back under pressure. So yeah, we do need to be aware of that. Definitely.
Seems like just panic sets in on that small field, like we're worried as soon as we lose it.
A little bit, yeah.
We're under attack straight away. Yes, it is a smaller field, but if we get older quick enough, we don't give them that opportunity, even though it is a small field. But what I saw is like the defensive line titles came early on. You sat a lot better this time around than we did the first game we played them.
Well, yeah, we didn't want to play it offside.
Yeah,
So
so
I was trying to
the three balls that they get that worked quite well. For them in the first game didn't work this one.
Darcy gets his B stick to it, eh?
That's what I was trying to talk to Kyle about as through training. Guys, here's a train Kyle dropped out, but I explained it to Darcy over before the game. We don't want to squish that midfield. We're amazing midfielders, they can play the ball. But what's the point of them playing the ball if we're half a metre on it? So I'm not trying to say I took credit for the idea.
But
Well, I did notice that in the first game, like you said, and it was so much easier to drop back when you said it cuts out their long runs.
that's what I said. He's pretty well nailed a lot of the shit on the head. But like I said, that's coach, I've got to be kicked as well.
Can I include one thing for the Div 2 before you flip the board? I think you may have it on there. Div 2, communication. Like, I know Matty Smith and Ethan being in the centre of the field, being your older heads, great, but you young fellas need to
No, it's
talk
all
more
right.
amongst yourselves, be louder, because to be honest, there was just no one taking direction from what I could see on the sideline in that first half. No one seemed to want to step up and take leadership. I think you guys need to find that amongst yourselves. And you know yourself whether you're a leader or not, or whether you think you're a leader or not, through the way you talk to other people.
As long as the talk's positive,
Yeah.
we don't care. You know, if it's positive and you're talking, that's a plus for us.
Yeah.
But if you're out there and you're talking negative, I'm gonna hook you and you're gonna be sitting on the bench next to me.
And he was trying to kick, he was trying to get him also can shove him into the lanes, can do it. And when you do it works quite well. The Div 2 boys know especially that they have taken for big one fellas on a regular for a training on a training game. And it's well, and it's not just for a 5-10 minute period, it's for a fucking good 40 minutes. So you can hold your own, so you can definitely do it, just like I said, that confidence thing. And I think also after the first game, you probably dropped a little bit of confidence. Because obviously we can talk about how this could be. I think the game that's just happened was to build your confidence back up. And you should be able to go on from there. Like Joe said, it's there to work. It will work and you'll get better as the season goes on. It's a long season. So by the time we get to the time, he's a big proper full stride. And that's not just Div 2, that's Div 1 as well.
And that's what the videos are for. Because I do know there are a few players, and especially in Div 2, and I don't know whether it's because your mum doesn't let you have a mobile phone or whatever, but there's certain players that never watch the videos. And that's what they're there for. Like, we can talk about this shit all day. If you watch the video, you will physically see it happen and think to yourself, you can pause it on the screen and you can think, yeah, if I made the run what they said diagonal, there's a channel there.
Prime example is David. The last two videos that have gone up, he's snipped out a little video of himself.
Yeah, that's like,
Ciao!
That's what's good about that much. He's watched it, found himself, and he's found something he's done well.
Yeah.
So he's just snipped it for the boys.
And like Oliver, he said to me at home, he said, I've got to get better of making those runs back towards the fence, peeling off and making that pass. He said, I do all the hard work, but that pass is the thing that's...
Bring it round for the video.
I do think
There we go. I
we
guess
had
that.
a very rough start of the season weather-wise. I don't think we've had any consistency with the weather. We played a game, missed a game, played a game, missed a game. Missed training, missed everything, wet weather. So I think they all did it.
So like I said, I suppose we nitpick. As you said, it's positive and just needs work. I was going to write negatives because there's never a negative. You want to start at the top, Div 2. Your pass options at times were very good. So one thing we've been working on all year is obviously those short passes being accurate. You didn't drop your head, so I brought that up earlier about the first goal going in. A lot of times that will happen and usually get run over. You didn't let that happen, and up in the 6-2. The backs, I noticed I do a fair bit as well. Pushing up and wrapping around to make that extra man to help him attack. Lee Kruger, he pushed up, got a goal out of it. Ollie almost got a goal in 2 games.
But that comes back to our midfielders, the two guys out on the outside. If you see your back run past, you make that wraparound thing, just drop back into the space. Give him the confidence to keep going.
That's the next point. It was great cover. When that happened, someone filled in the spot. They had to recover. And the physical play itself was good. He didn't sort of wimp out. I know there is a photo online of someone covering the face. But other than that, you showed up and did what you had to do. The needs work, the rushing. This isn't just Jason. It's our one. There's a lot of times we get the ball, I saw him doing, we had time and space, bang, pump it. See you later. Give it straight back to him, but ourselves back under pressure. That was that next one, kick it home. Like Troy said, a lot of times the through balls, long through balls will work, and you've got speed up front. There is a time when it becomes really repetitive and the team knows it's coming. The fun boys learned from our first game against West Warriors, that's all they did, counteracted it. Passing, this comes back to the rushing as well. Very inaccurate. A lot of sloppy pass, not firm, just sort of kicking and hoping it'll get there, hoping someone comes to it. What's happening? What's going to happen if a ball gets played and you come in half-assed with a defender coming under us? You're going to get hurt. This is why you don't know what to stop. Went quiet. I don't know if that was just from the video. I hear the sideline fellas talking a lot in the Div 2 video. I don't know about the actual game.
Probably second half they were a hell of a lot better than the first half. Like as soon as we started scoring a few, there was the talk. As soon as someone made the run, the talk was there, you know.
No, I'm sure we've got like constant straight runs up the middle, down the sideline. We've worked on the diagonal runs throughout the year. I don't know how we can't get a bingo game yet. There's videos out that you can watch, it shows how well they work. If you run a straight line off an angle like that, you will get pinned for offside. If you run a sweeping C, you're at full speed by the time the ball's through the middle goal and the defense got an opportunity. You're not going to be caught offside.
But the other thing we've got to do there, boys, is that all depends on our wingers or our strikers being able to get the ball at pace. No use them hitting the ball at pace if the ball's coming at head height. It's got to be on the ground.
Exactly. And that's how you've seen me push the through balls on the ground a lot, play the feet. How much you heard me say this year, put it in the air? Not very much. I'll occasionally say put it in the corner, but you can put it in the corner quite firmly low and hard. Some of the Div 1 boys have done it quite well this year. I've seen them do it. It's there, it's easy to do. Tackling the set plays. That's a big one. There wasn't a lot of, probably a couple of senior heads that were only really done up. The young fellas weren't real short. I know we don't practice it a lot. We might try and incorporate it so we can get some confidence in that. Work on some trick plays on corners, set pieces, things like that. They're pretty straightforward. Corners, you normally get your tallest blokes in there. They attack with the head. Midfielders will drop back and get the scraps and the puck comes out. We can work on that sort of shit if you just want to do that. They'll also do it time to that time to play in the game. Because a corner is the second best option to a goal.
And short corners. One of the backs pushing up 10 metres inside the line, 10 metres off the back line. You've got an angle. You can then take a touch and have a shot on goal. You can't do it from the corner. And in Div 2, no one tracks. I can tell you now.
And that's where you'll get your goals too. So if you play that short ball like Troy's long about, let's say Lee comes up and sees a short pass. He whips it across there, whole defensive line is going to come out to get him. If someone's swooping around the back that they haven't picked up and they decide to go back post, one-on-one.
Also, just add on that, when people are taking corners, you don't always have to play back post. Have a look up in top of goal, have a look top of D. There's people that are always open because.
And that's what I was saying about the set plays you're working on. You can do trick plays. You put one arm up the back post, two hands up the top D.
Grab your nuts for the phone, It's going to be far post, near post, right in the middle.
You just like obviously see it in the NFL. They do trick plays, they do weird fucking pull your jersey, tuck your nuts, whatever they do.
Yeah.
Teams don't understand. If we can do shit like that, they're going to be like, what's going on? So I'm going to fly out, they're going to be freezing, hit them on the hand, bang, trial volley, score.
But the other thing I want to see too is if we've got the ability, if everyone's right back hard on the line, for fuck's sake, someone get in the keeper's row, make him reach over top of you to try to grab the ball.
Yeah.
One thing I did notice in the game, after Joey made 2 runs and fucking hospitalised a couple of people, no one tends to get inside the 18-yard line. They will just wait outside for crumbs. And that's going to be to our advantage, because that's going to let our backs have time and space on the ball to be able to get that ball out.
He's already brought it up, congestion, being real close to you. I know it was a small field, but you can still create space. It's not very hard to go out, to get away from someone. There's no point in 2 blokes running in the corner and being like, I better go join them. And you've got 3 or 4 different blokes in there for no reason.
And it comes back to trust.
Exactly.
If you trust the fella that the ball's going to, there's no need for you to go over there and get in his road. It's set up for you to get into space to give him somewhere to pass to. The only reason why we should be running to a ball, or the only reason why it's going to happen when 3 people run to a ball, is because you all don't trust each other to win the ball.
And the last one, goal celebration. You scored 6 goals and sort of barely themselves.
I think there was only Harvey and
Yeah,
Walter, they polished their shoes.
Get cocky, fellas. Get cocky.
Fuck, go grab the corner flag. Do Timmy K. I don't give a shit. Do something.
Don't grab the corner flag.
Don't grab no
No,
punch.
it's yellow card.
Punch it, fuck.
Yellow card.
Oh, we're on a good one.
No, why you think down on some card? They grab the corner flag, yeah, as soon as he pulled it out. Yellow card.
I'll do one, boys. Positioning across the park is quite good. Considering how a few blokes playing out of position, you sort of cover the field quite well. The covering the defence is another one. Same sort of thing like I said, sort of Ollie makes some runs. In that one game on camera there, we covered him quite well. Whilst we drifted back into that centre, sliding into the cover all the way down the field, we rotated quite well. Even though it may not have felt like it, on camera you can see. Talk was good throughout. I didn't watch all of the second half, but I'm going to pick up a few caps after I went a bit quiet. We've proven that if we do talk and not shut up, what we can do. Wing backs, like I said, overlaps, things like that. Dano's good at it. That creates that extra man. Their defensive doesn't know what's going on. We make options that way. We didn't drop our heads when obviously things didn't go our way. When we put ourselves under pressure, we didn't just give up. We tried to get the ball back. Jacob had a very good kick performance. Footage did show a lot of it for some reason. Didn't quite pan back around to the cover. But from what I saw, he was in everything. And he didn't shut up.
Except that brain fart where he kicked it out.
Oh, yeah.
Is it need options? I was like, we're getting it. We're getting it, bro.
The other one was our 2 goals. To me, it looked like they come off a counter attack, and we've done it quite well. The first one especially, whilst we got it up that defender, hit Whitey hit the post, Mason hit the goal.
Rewatch that footage, sir. That was not false.
Hey, it's on, man. Let's have a look.
That was me.
A midfielder got the ball. But it just showed, we got the ball back in a very attacking position and we went bang, bang, bang.
That also comes up with back your like strikers and like being that second option, being that.
Exactly. If he didn't, if Mason didn't back up the either the fumble or the ricochet off the post, he doesn't get that opportunity to score.
So it's back
And no one followed him either on their team.
I think he was pretty selfish. I think he could
Yeah,
have
he
played
could have laid off.
I think he doesn't score if I didn't make the goal.
I was like, when we're warming up, he's like,
The goal didn't
I'm
move
gonna
back.
get one.
Yeah,
He didn't say that, followed it through.
Goalie, nothing.
What I was even more frustrated with that goal is that Monday night of that training last week, when we were doing the shooting drill, he was practicing them. Missed a lot of them, but he was practicing them. If that's not a thing that shows you practice makes perfect, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, do it again then.
Yeah.
He has 3 times already, we're talking about.
Our other needs work, so the passing accuracy is off. A lot. Same sort of thing, we're just rushing, trying to get rid of everything. We tried too much times, this comes back to what Damo said about the trying to beat 2 to 3 blokes at once, but when you have a simple offload option there in the past. Don't do that shit. It's going to cause dramas. Especially if you get knocked to the ground, because you're not going to get up very quickly. I know he's not here, Nelson's good for it. I've seen him get knocked down and not get up very fast. That puts them under pressure, especially on a small field. So we can't afford to do that. So if someone, you see that happening, let them know about it. I saw throughout some of the video, Tyler and a couple of other boys in the backs were telling a few of our wingers to just give simple passes. There's no need to try the heroic shit. It's not going to work.
And you've got to read the conditions, guys. Like the grass was long, the
Yeah.
ball was holding up. The more you try to fucking take those dinky little touches, and
It's going to get under
it's going to get under your feet, you're going to lose the ball.
We went up the middle a lot. Very straight.
He was trying to force it through him, that's what it felt like.
Yeah, then I'll put that up there.
And yeah,
And I think
Long
that
balls, that's a good one.
with
Constant
the
through
kicks
ball.
out of their hands.
Did,
so-
Woody, did you actually receive any comfortable passes up front, or were they all?
It did look like it.
the ball
It
came
didn't
from
look
the
like
front.
it.
I think I got one
Yeah.
out of the long balls that got.
And it's
Actually,
probably
everything
the goal
was-
where he scored.
I think it was one that he got the
And
ball
he
back.
got, yeah.
Well, the keeper beat him every time. As though he went that far forward, the keeper beat him every time.
It's always pointless.
And that wasn't on Waddy, that was, Waddy was actually offering feet too.
Yeah.
And I know there were a few
Yeah.
times where we looked up and he's coming to the ball, we just didn't give
There's
it.
no point if he's coming out, you're going, yeah, to go over his head. He's not going to.
I also saw when like you were pressuring them trying to get the ball back, no one's helping. A lot of the time I felt like I was isolated.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time I couldn't have the ball at my feet, but there was just too many times you just turn one way, turn one way, turn one way,
Yeah,
turn one way,
still
turn
not
and
really
turn
good.
in defender every single time, 3 or 4 times before then they lose the ball.
Yeah.
They could have passed it like 3 or 4 turns back
Yeah.
to an open back play where Damo or whoever from the back line, Darcy, was sitting there
Yeah.
free.
Which I think is definitely seems to be coming back to that smaller field.
It is very congested, because when we do play here, you get used to
Yeah,
using
you've
the
got the
width, and then when you're looking for the width here, it just, or there, it
You
just
have to
doesn't.
get used to that.
Not
Yeah, we're there for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's literally it, yeah.
Well, before I even watched the footage, I was talking to Jamie on the day, and that's she mentioned the same thing. Passing was poor, and before I even watched the footage, I said possibly because we're on a shorter field, we're not used to that shorter field. We're used to this. We go to a shorter field and we don't know how to adapt.
I was bad for it, I know other people were, but passes from me to Brandon should be getting feet. I was putting it 2 metres in front of him, like it just,
I could see it felt congested, like especially people like the guys in midfield, because just looking from where I was, there was like 3 or 4 around
Yeah.
the whole, like even like their strikers were dropping back into their midfield at the same time. So it just congested that midfield way up, and I think that's why we tried to beat too many times, trying to find that space. Like,
Well, I think this is for the small field. From what we've heard, we are fitter than the teams we're playing against. Let's use that to our advantage. Let's move down a lot more.
you fucking see that, they were
And-
rooted.
So in the first half, I saw them, they had hands on knees. The fact you boys didn't put more goals on them, it's not good. Not good.
And they were pissed,
They were fucked. They were absolutely
They
joking.
were very angry.
Yeah.
They ended with 2 goals. I don't know how pissed off they would have been for 5 passes.
Next time.
Next time.
Got to save a few. You got
We'll work. Obviously, this is why we're doing this tonight, so we can work on things from here on out. Like Tyler said, we're there for the next 3 weeks, so it's a small field. So we can work on game plans to suit the smaller field, and when we get back here,
I mean, like most of them, this fields are quite small, aren't
They will be, yeah.
Yeah.
Chinchilla's quite big, I think.
they? Yeah.
the stadium where the field is quite big, so we're used to that one.
The stadium,
Yeah,
it's good.
it's quite good. That's good. This is particular with a lot of the midfield blokes I noticed in the video, a lot of walk-ins. Individuals especially, the ball just going down and they just turn and trot back on this casual Sunday. Can't do that. Because Damo, Darcy and whoever else, those in the back, they can't defend against 6 blokes.
Watch us.
But
You got this all day.
You know what I mean? Like, if Darren gets sworn in with 3 votes and gets knocked over, it now turns to 6 on 2.
and I'm pissed off. And I'm
Yeah,
pissed
he's
off.
Yeah, same.
Which I picked up in the video from players, is we get starting to get antsy with each other at certain times. And have we ever done that?
It was hot. I was upset.
And I was like,
That's very high.
I was upset.
the heat's a big factor.
And the point is, when I play bad, I get up with myself.
I think that contributed to the second half, like the drop in the second half was being like just people just.
And once you drop, trying to get it back up is very difficult.
Rather than building, we kind of, started big.
You didn't go out the same way you came
And that being
in.
said, and that goes both ways. Like, a lot of them coming back, midfielders. I'm not trying to blame midfielders. Like, you just do a lot of running. and
No,
it's
we're not
really
blaming
hard.
anyone.
But when you do eventually get back, boom, now we swap. And the attackers are on their own as well now, and they've got no options back. And like, you guys play a critical role, and like, we can't play without you.
That's where Brandon's next one on that board comes in quite important.
Yeah.
But if you think about the role in the midfield and the structure we're playing, if we're playing constant long balls over the top of the midfield,
Yeah.
all we're doing is back and forth, back and forth.
And you're rooted.
And we're just watching, and then, I walked quite a bit in that second half, because we just started pumping that ball long, and then I'd go and help Waddy press forward, and then I'm fucked, because I am pushing at 90% to get there to help him, rather than just playing feet and slowing it down to our pace.
So that goes all over the park too. Because midfielder, like, pumping the ball to the winger. If he doesn't get it, he's going to come back and sprint. As a defender, we lose the ball continuously. We sprint. So it's just possession.
Correct, so to fix that, kick the ball.
But the thing is, it's not just on the midfielders too. Like you make a point, because that was one of my points. Is a lot of walking, but it's pressing as a team. So the midfield, if Waddy's going to go and press when we're attacking, the midfielders are going to press attacking. Us at the back, we need to do the same. We did it here against Chinchilla. After the last 20 minutes, the back line was sitting about 10-15 minutes into their half. But we were as a unit, right? If Waddy's going to press on his own, that's why he's lonely. If the midfielders aren't going to back him up, there's a big gap between him and the midfield. Then if the midfield are going to press, but the backs aren't, like, we're not going to press, then there's a big gap between the midfielders and the backs, and that's what they're going to use.
But we were sort of, and both teams were sort of playing in reverse. We were defending really wide, attacking really compact, where it should be the opposite. We only want to defend that 18-yard box, that strip, show them the outside. When we attack, as you're running forward, you should be running forward and out, and especially in second div where we play 2 up front, we should be running out, so our ball should be wide ball, inside ball, outside ball, diagonal ball, so we're putting the ball back in front of the goal. We do the opposite in Div 2. So we go straight up the guts, we go out, and then we stay out.
Yeah, because the thing was that
Yes.
nine people didn't run.
Yeah, that's correct.
So for us, we
Yeah.
can just put the ball up.
Yeah,
We
that's
have to put it back there.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how we play.
yeah,
Like for me,
yeah.
as a striker, I need the ball just like come to me, I give the midfield.
But
So
we-
the midfield gonna
Yeah.
play for the Lions,
Yeah,
and that's the really play how.
but that's what we
should.
want. That's, we want
So
that
midfield,
final
play
third.
all the balls too.
That's what's going to work with having you in that Div 2 side.
That's
You
good.
coming and offering feet and then playing the likes of Lockie and Harvey through those angled balls.
And that's really good.
If we can get Lockie and Harvey running off you
Yeah,
and timing it on an angle, you giving a good ball,
Yes.
you're going to create 1,000 goals.
yes,
Okay?
that's what I see.
But
And that goes with both teams.
it's getting the ball to that point that Troy's covering.
Yeah.
Rather than playing up the middle, we should be going forward. We should be using the width.
We should, it's like an ice cream cone. Well, actually, no, it's like a pyramid. We want to get to the point where we can have a shot. At the moment, we're starting at a point of distribution
Because
and we're going down.
We're playing for the quarter flag.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's what, like I was saying, next one, the pressure and the short balls.
Yeah.
They had a lot of short passes that we just let them do,
Yeah.
and that's when they went from there into the field.
Yeah.
We were shutting that down when we played Chile here. Like, so as a unit, we're all doing it. So I know the heat was a factor, but if one person's going in the beating, then that creates a massive hole that we've got to fill, which then creates another hole and another hole. It's just like a domino effect. So we've work on sliding as a unit, if we continue to do that throughout the year, it's going to work. You've already shown that it does work. And you're starting to trust each other more and more each week, which is what we want to see. Because like I said, if you don't trust someone in your team, it's not going to work.
We're going to have pockets of people that are doing 110% of the work, but not a great deal of game if we don't have trust. And I put people in positions where I trust them. And I think Tyler said to the Dig 2 boys before the game, if you get put in a position, stay in that position, because what happened out here when we played Highfields was, I put people out on the fields, and then they just went and played where they wanted to. And that doesn't happen, that just can't work.
Also, using very covered and active, slacking off in the start of the second half. We don't do that because that's when goals get scored against us very quickly. And as you know, with any sport, if you're trying to defend a lead, it's never going to last. So we just need to bring that same intensity from the start to finish. Whether we're fucking 10-0 up, 2-0 up, 2-0 down. We were 2-0 down against these guys last time we played.
And we want
Look
to.
what we did to them. They got very close to doing that to us.
We lifted after those 2 goals a lot, but it should have been like that from the start. Don't wait to score to get pumped, to get lifted, but right from the start.
And I think in the Div 1 game, it sort of got to that 10 minutes before the end of the game, and people were just waiting for that capitulation or that one goal that gets them back into the game, because it just went stale. In that 10-minute period, it was like, it's coming, we're just saving our energy for when it does come. Because if you just sort of see that last 10 minutes, people just sort of just dropped off that bit, where that probably should be, and probably in our Div 2 guys as well, we just sort of got comfortable.
Yeah, with that.
We were sort of out, and it was just like, we can slack off for 10 minutes, and if something happens, we give ourselves 2 or 3 minutes to clean up. Well, that's...
And like at that second half in the last like 10 minutes or so, everyone just kind of stopped in the Div 2. And I feel like we need just like a word that everyone can just say, and they know that for the next 5 minutes, they get pumped up, they get ready, they get, you know...
Cattle dog.
Yeah, they get...
Yeah. Just like Queenslander and go.
We'll get this last one, and obviously again, celebrations count.
Yeah,
It's talk about doing these celebrations with goal scoring, you don't do it.
No, well, when you score a goal, you don't know what to do. You just got the whole team running at you. You're
Just-
like,
Run away, mate, run away, do a Stevie, like dodge them all, go to the corner flag.
I think we'll do Nathan's idea. Someone go through the FIFA celebrations. Ryan Gambler and draw out the hat.
Everyone pick one each week, just pick one and go, I'm going to score this week, I'm going to do this.
Can you run up and down?
Yeah.
10-pin bowling and all just stand there.
There's one thing that's not on that list, and Brandon may disagree because I noticed he didn't write it down. And there's 2 reasons for it. Outside backs, you're all here. Outside backs take every throw in. At least 2/3 of the way down the pitch. 2 reasons. 1, you don't want your midfielders or your strikers taking throw-ins because they need to be down there receiving the ball. And second reason is if your midfielder's taking a throw-in, your defenders are back, gives them more space. If you throw it in, it comes off one of their players, goes to them, they're already further down the pitch. If your outside back's taking the throw-ins, the back line's already up. You throw it in, hits them, goes past you, they're offside. Okay? So, I mean, I know there's a lot of confusion around who takes throw-in, who takes... Outside backs, I know, do you agree? Alright, cool. Yeah, so if you're... Yeah, but we should be moving, if we're attacking, if we're down that...
So far down.
Yeah, but if...
What that then entails is, and you see Kyle do it quite well, you centre back then slides, and you slide as a team still, you keep your shape, but Kyle then offers that back option. Damo slides into the middle, covers that middle, and we can swing the ball the whole way around the pitch. We did it against Chinchilla, okay?
Because if Nelson's taking the throw in and Dobie's sitting here, then they're gonna one's gonna mark the thrower, one's gonna mark Dobie, you know, and so it brings them forward. If Dobie's taking the throw in, well, they're not going to come back and mark me because you're looking for the ball up. And if I want to, I'll swing right down low, and yeah, like Tyler said, swing around Damo, swing the other side. Gives you more options because we don't want these guys in the middle who are playing the ball to be taking throw-ins.
I got 3 in the chest in the middle of the field at one point, just from throw-ins. I'm like, what the fuck? You know?
So there's no arguments, like if it's on that side,
Yeah.
if you're on there, you're taking the throw in. Same for your div 2 guys, you're outside backs. Ollie, you're on that side, you're taking the throw in. Whoever's on the other side, they're taking them throw ins. At least 2/3 of the way, because if we're up at the 18 yard, there's no reason why you can't take a throw in, because we should be down there. Your back line should be on the halfway line.
Especially if you have a four-man back line, so we'll cover that.
Well, look, you better dust them up.
But you two boys, my pet mate, is if you get pinged for a foul, for a shit throwing, you are going to be doing push-ups or sit-ups.
Fucking ass.
Because
Div 2, that's bloody, that's junior shit, that is.
Oh, Nelson, and just like,
yeah, you can put it behind his head.
And that's why the outside backs need to take them.